largest early vote drive here on the Dan O'Donnell Show. Welcome to it. Get out there and early vote today. Let me know once you do. Shoot me a text to the adventknows.com talk and text line, 414-799-1130 or 1-800-838-9476. Email me, dod@iheartmedia.com. As always, you can watch our show streaming live via the DanoCam at Dan O'Donnell Show on X, Facebook.com/Dan O'Donnell Show, and on our YouTube channel. Like and subscribe. Sign up to get alerts when we go live at 9:06 every single weekday morning. YouTube.com/Dan O'Donnell Show. The bid on Milwaukee auction is now live. We are accepting bids until 7 o'clock tomorrow night on a whole ton of items. Bids start, the price of the item starts at 45% of the actual retail price. So that means you could get as much as 55% savings on all sorts of stuff. Just head to bidonmilwaukee.com. Again, that is bidonmilwaukee.com for a list of items. You can check it out, spend some time, browse, and place your bids because you are guaranteed to see a whole ton of savings at bidonmilwaukee.com. Just in the last couple of seconds, we've got a couple of texts. I voted in Mukwonago, voted early in Elm Grove yesterday. Both of these people have never before texted our adventknows.com talk and text line. You see, on our app, it's called Text Groove. We can actually see the entire conversation, much like you would on an iPhone or an Android phone. But what I love is people who have never before done anything like this. I love hearing, hey, I've never voted early before, but because of your encouragement, we are doing it. As always, I feel like I need to explain why early voting matters. Well, Dan, what does it matter? It's going to be counted the same anyway. I was going to go vote no matter what. Were you? How many of you in my listening audience were planning to go to opening day, which also happens to be the same day, Tuesday, April 2nd, as the election? Brewers home opener, Tuesday, April 2nd. Election day, Tuesday, April 2nd. And those of you who make opening day a tradition usually go maybe to the bars early. What's game time? Usually 1 o'clock. Somewhere in there. Parking lot opens. It's a Milwaukee tradition. Anybody who lives in Milwaukee, well, the parking lot's going to open at 11 o'clock. The cars start lining up by about 8:30. And then the Brewers say, we're going to open the parking lots early. This is sort of akin to the Kohl's department store sale price. Look, we know the sweater is actually priced at $19.99. It's not $49.99 and on clearance for $19.99. You can stop with the game. We know the parking lot is actually going to open at 10 a.m. But my point is that let's say you have a little bit too much fun at opening day. And you say, okay, after the game will be over by 4:30, 5 o'clock. I'll go vote. But then you take the shuttle back to the bar. You have a couple there. You decide, you know what? I'd rather just hang out. Oh, it's 3:10 this year, Dave. Thank you for correcting me. 3:10. That's new. That is going to be very interesting. Yeah, you wonder if this was, you know what opening day is in Milwaukee? It's basically St. Patrick's Day, the sequel. It's for people who just need an excuse to go to the bar at like 8:30 in the morning. But my point is that you don't know what you're going to be doing on Tuesday, April 2nd, do you? You have no idea. You don't know if you're going to be in the hospital. You don't know if you're going to be visiting a loved one who's in the hospital. You don't know. Get it done today. So reason number one, you are guaranteed to be able to cast your vote. Reason number two, and this is a big one, it doesn't matter so much in local elections like this, but in the presidential election, I can absolutely guarantee that getting your vote banked as quickly, as soon as possible deal. It saves the Republican Party. It saves President Trump. It saves his campaign money. It saves volunteer man hours, because that's one less vote that they have to worry about. There is a fortune spent, especially in swing states like Wisconsin, on data. The parties, the candidates, there is $30-40 million operation in knowing who their likely voters are, who are the people who need a little nudge to actually get out to the polls to vote. And there's a whole lot of money and effort spent in every single day knowing who exactly has been returning their absentee ballots, who is still out there, who hasn't voted yet. Once you do, that's less money for the candidate, for the party, for any associated group that needs to convince you to go vote. They know you're going to vote. They know you're going to vote for Trump. They know you're going to vote for Republicans. They just need to know that you did, in fact, vote. Democrats have mastered this. Why do you think they have been pushing for in-person absentee voting, a dramatically increased use of mail-in voting? It's because they have been able to bank votes early and then just focus elsewhere. But the biggest reason that I want as many conservatives as humanly possible early voting, either in-person absentee or by mail, is because ultimately I want one day of voting, not 2 weeks, not a month. If Democrats had their druthers, we would already be voting in the presidential election. We know it's going to be Biden versus Trump. Why don't we just open up the polls to mail-in voting right now? My goal is to get back to election day from our current election month. And the way I plan to do that is to have so many conservatives voting early that it becomes an advantage for Republicans and not Democrats. My aim is to have Democrats beg Republicans to allow us to go back to only one day of voting, and I need your help to do it. So get out there, early vote today, take a shorter lunch break, cast your ballot, and then go on and have a fun day. And text me, 414-799-1130, 414-799-1130, or 1-800-838-9476. Let me know you voted, and then text your friends, email your friends, Facebook group. You're probably in a text group right now for the NCAA tournament pool, right? Text them all, say, hey, you guys are all like-minded conservatives, early vote. Here's why. The local races are getting a little nasty. None more so than the school board race in Waukesha, in which the DPI secretary, Jill Underly, has taken the unusual step, not just of campaigning with the two liberal candidates, which she did this weekend, but also of openly politicizing bomb threats that came into Butler Middle School last week. Story came out and hit the Libs of TikTok X account about a Butler assistant principal who was taking to his personal Facebook account and essentially saying, hey, look, all your kid are belong to us, right? The public schools are raising your kids whether you like it or not. And frankly, the story before it was pitched to Libs of TikTok was pitched to me, and I sort of looked at it and said, well, it's just some dude who is using his personal Facebook page. Yeah, he's a lib. I mean, I don't really care. Story hit Libs of TikTok. I am told that on 3 consecutive days, there were bomb threats that were sent to the school that are believed to be from out of state. Now, whether or not these came from conservatives who saw this on Libs of TikTok, whether it came from somebody who wants to turn this into a political issue, I don't know. But it sure seems strange, the timing of Underly's visit. Underly went this weekend to campaign with the two Liberals. I have never heard of Jill Underly campaigning with any school board candidates, conservative or liberal. And Underly obviously is about as left-wing gets. The superintendent of Waukesha Schools, and it should be noted that there is a great slate of conservative candidates running in the Waukesha School Board races. Kelly Piasek, who is an incumbent, and she is absolutely fantastic. Eric Brooks is a great friend of the Dan O'Donnell Show. He is a wonderful candidate. He is about as good a conservative. He's a veteran of pretty much every Republican campaign there is. He's just a good guy, too. He's running. Underly is very, very concerned about this. So concerned that she goes campaigning. Now, the Waukesha superintendent, as well as the Waukesha Police Department, have basically asked, let's not focus on these bomb threats or the libs of TikTok post. And why I would say there's any evidence at all that this would be a liberal faking the bomb threats, because if you haven't been paying attention to what's been going on with libs of TikTok, they are being blamed. Kaya Rychek, who runs Libs of TikTok, who is Libs of TikTok, she's been blamed for essentially terror attacks or attempted terror attacks. And this has really stepped up over the last couple of weeks. Well, Libs of TikTok will post about this, and then all of a sudden there are threats against whatever it is that Libs of TikTok posts about. So this is part of this narrative, is that Libs of TikTok is dangerous, that Libs of TikTok is endangering the libs that she is reporting on. And it should be noted that pretty much all Libs of TikTok does is post the stuff that libs usually on TikTok say. She will just post, hey, here's a guy who happens to be a third grade teacher in San Francisco. He also identifies as a tree stump. And here's a video. That's it. Libs, of course, believe that they are beyond reproach, that they don't and should not face any accountability ever. So there's at least some reason to believe that to advance this narrative, here are some threats. Oh, look at how dangerous Libs of TikTok is, but we don't know. But the Waukesha Police Department has kindly asked everybody to just stop, okay? Because there were no actual bomb threats. This is, these were investigated. Okay, it's because the Libs of TikTok post, and this is what we do now. We call in bomb threats. We dox people. We SWAT people. Do you know what swatting is? Yeah, this is particularly horrific. They'll use a VPN to place an internet call to 911 saying that whoever the target of the swatting is has their family held hostage and they're threatening to kill them and kill themselves. So a SWAT team goes in and usually barges in, bursts down the door. It's a very dangerous, terrifying situation. It's been happening with increased frequency. And I'm not saying our side is innocent of this as well. Both political extremes use swatting as a sort of political tool. But after the Waukesha Police Department says, hey, please stop using this in rhetoric about the school board, about anything else, just let's drop it. People will move on. Let's just go ahead. The two liberal board candidates immediately, and I mean immediately, as the threats were coming in, they start using them as political talking points. Remember, Waukesha was the same school district that had the Rainbow Land controversy. Before that, it was the school lunch controversy, where the rich Waukesha school board members don't want the poor kids of Waukesha to have free school lunches anymore. It was completely a lie as well. But they're saying, well, the district isn't being transparent. The board and the superintendent, those conservatives, have created an anti-gay, divisive environment. Underly then put out a statement. Remember, she's openly campaigning with these two liberal school board candidates on Saturday. On Tuesday, she put out a press release from her official email, from her official, actually it's on the DPI website. So she's not acting as Jill Underly, political hack. She's acting as Jill Underly, political hack, superintendent of schools. This is what she said. After the police said, please stop talking about this, everyone. Let me be clear. Attacks, harassment, and threats on students, educators, and schools are reprehensible and cannot continue. And let's not pretend these threats are coming out of thin air. They are generated by hate, especially toward the LGBTQ plus community. We must stand up for and stand with every educator and every child. We can't leave anyone behind. These threats are based on nothing more than targeted hate. And now out-of-state hate groups are using social media to target all of us. Do you know what that out-of-state hate group is? The libs of TikTok. That's what she's talking about. Now, so she gives this high and mighty, all of our students and educators have the basic human right to feel safe, included, and supported, especially when at school and at public libraries. Yes, okay, fine. Yeah, of course. Where were you, Dr. Jill, in the summer of 2021? You had just been elected state superintendent, and the conservative school board was getting hate from all over the country. In fact, Piasek was the target of doxing attacks because they said, well, this woman doesn't care about poor kids. She wants to take school lunch right out of their mouths. Underly didn't say a thing. But now, after the talking points of the two liberal school board candidates change from, hey, we want to ruin your schools just like we ruin every other school district that we take over. I think that they're not saying that specifically, but that's kind of what they mean. They're saying, well, if you vote for these conservative school board candidates, there's going to be hate brought down upon your children. It's classic fear-mongering. But now, after the police, after the agency responsible for keeping the students and keeping the educators safe say, hey, the worst thing you can do is keep amplifying this and keep this in the news cycle, you've got Jill Underly mirroring their attacks and basically screaming, Leroy Jenkins, while she pours more gasoline on the fire. Folks, if you're in Waukesha and you want to stop this political hackery coming from the state superintendent, if you want to stand up against people who dare to stand for good governance of schools, head on out and early vote today. Kelly Piasek and Eric Brooks. I can't recommend that highly enough. You're listening to The Dan O'Donnell Show.
Discover your new smile today at the dental office of Dr. Matt Smith, Milwaukee's premier cosmetic dentist. Dr. Matt provides comfortable, customized care in a private spa-like setting. Dr. Matt leads the field in cosmetic dentistry and allows you to visualize your dream smile through his digital design process and see how gorgeous your smile is going to be. So get your confidence back, just like so many of his past patients. To see their stories and transformations, head to mattsmithdds.com, where they bring smiles to life. mattsmithdds.com.
Dan O'Donnell here for CertaPro Painters. If you're like me, you're still spending a lot of time at home. My home is my happy place, and that's why I trusted the pros at CertaPro to paint it the way I wanted. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in the state. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, pro.com. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
The Smith Brothers 3000 Collection Sectional at Penny Mustard is the sofa to bring this country together.
What are you talking about?
I mean, it's tough finding something we all agree on nowadays.
You can say that again.
I mean, it's tough finding something.
That's just an expression.
I think we can all agree that the Smith Brothers 3000 Sectional is pretty special.
Everybody's raving about the stunning tight back.
It's completely optionizable too, so you can design it to match any decor.
The SB 3000 smaller scale maximizes seating in a tight space without feeling cramped.
I love it because I can sit comfortably with my feet touching the floor.
I do that all the time.
Yeah, but you're a foot taller than me.
Oh, right.
My fellow shorties know what I'm talking about.
Come see the SB 3000 collection, sophisticrafted with unsmooshable Qualex Ultrafoam seats and individual seat spring support, starting at $53.18 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Better versions of what people want.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T.
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text HIM to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text HIM to 321-321. That's HIM to 321-321.
Here's why money Warshevsky.
Conservative thought, not just talk. This is the Dan O'Donnell Show.
Just realized I made a big mistake in that last segment. You also got to get out there and vote for Anthony Zenobia. It is Eric Brooks, Kelly Piasek, school board president, and Anthony Zenobia, also running as a conservative, true conservative for Waukesha School Board. Vote red, right? What do they say? They have vote blue no matter who. I say vote red till you're dead. Even after you're dead, have people request absentee ballots in your name and keep voting. I'm kidding, of course. Watch. How much you want to bet? I'm investigated by the State Department of Justice for that joke. Molly Beck is already on the hotline. Dan, I need you to comment. You're telling him to commit voter fraud. What an irresponsible use of the airwaves. Shall we get an update on our state's largest early vote drive? I think we shall. Big deep breath, because there are a lot of people texting in at the adventknows.com talk and text line 414-799-1130 telling us that they voted. I just voted in Brookfield. Thanks for the nudge. 3 early votes in Wauwatosa from our household. Good morning, Dan. Dave S. from the town of Grafton. I was voter number 4 yesterday morning. Glad to vote early in every election. My husband and I voted yesterday in downtown Kenosha. Sandy from Waukesha voted yesterday. I voted for Trump on 319 in Sun Prairie. That comes from Maureen. Dan, Lee, and Sharon wintering in Fort Myers. We returned our absentee ballots yesterday. Wife and I voted yesterday in Waterford. I voted in Muskego. And my favorite, Barb from Exonia, texts in. Hi, Dan. I voted yesterday after hearing your encouragement. I didn't even realize that voting was approaching. Turns out I would not have been able to vote on April 2nd. Thanks. That's my point. You don't know what you don't know. And what none of us know is the future. You don't know if you're going to be dealing with a sick kid. You don't know if you're going to be dealing with a sick parent. You don't know if you're going to suddenly be called out of the state on business. You don't know. Get it done now. A number of people are saying, Dan, you sound like my parents. Don't procrastinate. I'm going to tell you. Also, floss every day. Vote early, floss. What else? What other advice do parents tell you? Yeah, be kind, but that's kind of a general one. Get the flu shot, right? Do people still get flu shots? Is that still like a big thing? I mean, I'm pretty terrified of needles, so that advice never really took with my mom. Although this year, I didn't get a flu shot this year. I did get the flu, and it was quite bad. No, moms will say, floss, yeah, be kind, vote early. That's the motherly advice you'll get here on the Dan O'Donnell Show. When we come back, a shock resignation in Ireland. What does that mean for the United States? You're listening to the Dan O'Donnell Show. Classical conservatism, contemporary style.
More of the Dan O'Donnell Show. Next.
Hey, Dan O'Donnell here for the Lynch family of dealerships. I've been a big proponent of Lynch for a while now. Here's why. They're literally a family dealership and have been since 1957. That's increasingly rare in the dealership world today, but the Lynch family employs 500 plus people who are all dedicated to taking care of you. They've got a wide selection of new and used vehicles, extended service department hours for early drop-offs and late pickups, and most importantly, they're proud supporters of our local communities and schools. They also stand behind what they sell with Lynch-certified used vehicles, including a 168-point inspection to determine eligibility, an unparalleled 90-day or 3,000-mile certified guarantee, and a 10-day 500-mile exchange policy. And when you pair this with the Lynch Protected program, they cover your paint, your windshield, and your tires. It's easy to see why you should consider Lynch. Check them out today at shoplynch.com.
Sendix is offering seafood prices that haven't been seen in years. Don't miss deals like Sendix Premium Wild-Caught Halibut Fillets for just $9.99 a pound. 4-ounce steaks of Sendix Wild-Caught Premium Ahi Tuna are just $5.99 each. And backed by popular demand, Jumbo Canadian Walleye Fillets are just $7.99 a pound. And treat yourself to Sendix Large Golden King Crab Legs for just $17.99 a pound. Get your order in on these and other amazing seafood deals now at Sendix.com. Sendix, your trusted local grocer.
Get your patio summer ready with maintenance-free furniture from By the Yard with a 35-year warranty. Check out By the Yard at the Realtors Home and Garden Show. Visit their brand new showroom in Oconomowoc or shop at buytheyard.net.
Want to make your yard the envy of the neighborhood? Tune in to Brett Octenhagen's Seasonal Services Designer Yard Show to learn landscaping secrets. Visit seasonalservices.com and listen on News Talk 1130 WISN, Saturdays at 1 p.m.
Well, that's why you have to check out our website. We're pretty proud of our before and after photos because they show off just how good we really are. I can confidently say that whatever you bring us, we're going to use every bit of magic we have to turn it into a one-of-a-kind work of art. So if you're looking for the finest in furniture finishing and heirloom restoration, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. Serving everywhere. Quality counts. MULLALY, finishing.com. If it's worth restoring, we're going to tell you. If it's not worth the cost of restoring, then we're going to give you an honest answer. You don't stay in the furniture finishing business for nearly 50 years unless you're honest and talented. Luckily, we're both, and that means all of your expectations will be met. So if you want only the finest in furniture finishing and heirloom restoration, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. We're no job's too small. Serving everywhere. Quality counts.
Hey, Dan O'Donnell here, calling all NBA fans. You have got to try Pick Six, the newest fantasy app from DraftKings, an official partner of the NBA. Right now, new customers can earn a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 in Pick Six credits when you deposit $5 or more. Getting started is simple. Just download the Pick Six app. Sign up with code WI. Got to use the code WISN. Pick at least 2 players. Choose if they're going to have more or less of a stat. Set your lineup and get started on playing. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and get started with code WISN. New customers can earn a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 in Pick 6 credits when you deposit $5 or more. Only on DraftKings Pick 6 with code WISN. The crown is yours. One offer per new customer, minimum $5 deposit to receive a match of up to $100 in Pick 6 credits, which are non-withdrawable and valid for Pick 6 use only. Expire after 180 days. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 18 plus in most eligible states. Age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. Pick 6 not available in all states, including but not limited to Connecticut and New York. For up-to-date list of states, visit dkng.co/pick6states. Void where prohibited. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
On tournament day, we sure enjoy watching those collegiate stars run up and down the court. Score! Hi, this is Terry Ladwick, owner of All-American Window and Door. My top pick to win it all is Team All-American. We're the best defense against inefficient windows. Our windows are built to compete on your court, where heat and cold are part of the game. Winning is easy with us in your energy game plan. All-American Window and Door, 262-255-7170. Estimates are free.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-522-5700. 800-522-5700.
Coming up after the top of the hour, we will report exclusively on the searchable database that is now open, now up and running, didyourecall.com. You can now search to see if your name was used to sign the Voss recall. Do you know who signed the recall effort against Robin Voss? Robin Voss signed the recall against Robin Voss. Producer Dave, you were right. He said last week, I remember this when we first reported that a 3-year-old child signed the recall. I asked Dave, you'll never guess who signed the recall. He said Robin Voss. Turns out he was righter than he thought. Robin Voss did indeed sign the recall against Robin Voss. I'm taking a wild guess, but Robin Voss did not want Robin Voss recalled. We will report on the findings of a group calling itself Wisconsinites for Liberty Fund, which Voss has partnered with to try to beat back this recall effort. As we reported yesterday, there are now approaching 30 sworn affidavits with the Racine County District Attorney's Office. We'll get into some of the other findings as people associated with Voss have been poring over the recall. It is astounding the level to which recall organizers knowingly violated state law. And this is a real problem. Yes, it does appear that the recall has failed. Thursday, there's going to be tomorrow. Today's Wednesday. My goodness, this week is just flying by. You want to talk about a busy day today, so if I seem a little distracted, I have got TV. I'm going to be on Newsmax at 12:15 with my buddy John Bachman And then tonight, after the Mark Belling show, I am going to be heading down to the Meadowbrook Country Club in Racine County to talk to the Republican women of Southeast Wisconsin. It should be a whole lot of fun. I do this every single year right around St. Patrick's Day. Sue Lynch and her group just put on a wonderful event. I should be down there by about 6:30. I'm going to head right from the studio to there. I am also in the process of writing a big column in support of the Zucker-Bucks constitutional amendment for the McIver Institute. McIver has launched a big effort, McIver Action. This is the political action wing of the McIver Institute. They have launched an all-out campaign to try to get the 2 constitutional amendments passed. And even if I wasn't writing for McIver, this is something that I feel very, very strongly about as one of the people, along with Matt Kittle, along with Bill Osmulski over at the McIver Institute, who were first reporting on the Zucker-Bucks and all of the legal problems that created to try to get Zucker-Bucks out of Wisconsin, to try to get private funding for elections out of Wisconsin altogether is huge. I know we were going to talk about a big resignation in Ireland, but I just looked up and wanted to, by the way, it's the Taoiseach of Ireland, the leader of the Irish government, Leo Varadkar. He just resigned. He is a left-winger. He was a big proponent of open borders and unfettered migration into Ireland. And as a result, he has been the target of massive, massive protests in the streets. There was huge celebrations in Dublin today. It looked like St. Patrick's Day with all of the people wearing green and just cheering after Varadkar announced his resignation. Does this portend an election victory for Trump? In 2016, what happened in the British Isles right before that election? Brexit, right? Popular revolt against the same sort of overreach by liberals, especially when it comes to unfettered illegal immigration. Well, already we have had popular revolts all over the country, most notably in Argentina, where Javier Milei swept to the presidency. He's called the South American Trump. But I looked up at the TV monitor, and I am seeing our old friend Tony Bobulinski testifying in a House hearing on Hunter Biden and Joe Biden's business dealings. Let's, if we can, producer Dave, dip in a little bit to Tony.
Sold out to foreign actors who are seeking to gain influence and access to Joe Biden and the United States government. Joe Biden was more than a participant in and a beneficiary of his family's business. He was an active, aware enabler who met with business associates such as myself to further the business, despite being buffered by a complex scheme to maintain plausible deniability. I ask this big question. If there's no evidence of corruption here today, if Joe's conduct and the conduct of his family were fully legal and proper, then why are they so dishonest about it? Not just slight misrepresentations of fact, but deep untruths about the entire corrupt enterprise. Hunter Biden gave his transcribed interview on February 28th and lied throughout his testimony. Here's just one egregious example of Hunter's perjury. He lied to the committee on important details concerning his money demands and threats to CFC in text messages on July 30th and 31st, 2017. He leveraged his father's presence next to him in that infamous text to strong-arm CFC to paying Hunter immediately. Jim Biden also lied extensively throughout his transcribed interview on February 21st and perjured himself. An example of that, on page 100 of his transcript, Jim is asked specifically, do you recall having a meeting with Hunter Biden, Tony Bobulinski, and Joe Biden? Jim's response, absolutely not. The committee was so shocked by his perjury that they asked him the same question multiple times. Each time he denied meeting with me and Joe Biden. After the committee showed him text messages confirming that I met with Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, and Jim Biden at the Beverly Hilton in May 2017, Jim Biden, with a former U.S. attorney lawyer sitting next to him, still denied that meeting took place. Hunter Biden, in his own transcribed interview, confirmed that that meeting took place. Hunter confirmed his uncle perjured himself in front of this committee. I'm simply here to tell the truth to the American people, and I hope each and every one of you, congressmen and women, give me the opportunity to do that instead of focusing on Russia or smearing my family's name or focusing on facts that are irrelevant today.
That is Tony Bobulinski giving his opening statement before Congress. This is in the House Oversight Committee as part of the impeachment inquiry into Joe Biden. And yes, Bobulinski does have firsthand knowledge of exactly what was going on. He was partners with Hunter Biden on one business venture by the name of Sino-Hawk Industries. He also has intimate firsthand knowledge of the Biden's business dealings in Ukraine. So he's been saying the same thing, folks. Tony Bobulinski didn't just appear out of the ether as James Comer launched this investigation. He's been saying the same thing since the first New York Post report in October of 2020 dropped about Hunter Biden's laptop. Tony Bobulinski, in essence, was the proof. He was always the proof that the laptop was legitimate, that the New York Post's reporting was accurate. And now, coincidentally, the embedded FBI agents suppressing the story at Twitter, now X, and Facebook and other social media sites were directing said sites to suppress the story, not because they genuinely thought it was Russian disinformation, but because it would have hurt their preferred candidate, Joe Biden, or more accurately stated, it would have helped their feared, despised, loathed candidate in Donald Trump. So they engaged in easily, I think, the most wide-ranging violation of First Amendment rights as it pertains to political speech in this country's history. We will have more from this hearing. We will have more from what appears to be the failed Robin Vos recall. We've got some exclusive reporting on that. And we'll play Guess What's Racist, all coming up in the 10 o'clock hour. But next, it's the unhinged liberal of the day. Stay tuned.
Struggling to get rid of those unwanted pounds? Stress, aging, and so many factors that are near impossible to control lead to diet and exercise resistant fat. Fat that's not your fault, but is for sure a problem. Well, until now. The doctors and experienced staff at a Younger You Medical Spa can help you get rid of stubborn, unwanted fat. With Cool Sculpting, they have performed over 5,000 treatments to help clients feel fit and confident. This fat freezing procedure uses cooling to remove fat from areas such as thighs, stomach, love handles, arms, and underneath the chin. Cool Sculpting is a non-surgical way to reduce fat and get the body you've always dreamed of. An FDA-cleared and clinically proven procedure that freezes unwanted fat cells for good with little to no downtime. And treatments are just under an hour. And with their amazing special of 50% off 8+ treatments, it's never been more affordable to transform your body for good. Book your free consultation now at Younger You Medical Spa in Brookfield and Burlington or at YoungerYou.com.
Time for This Week with Annex Wealth Management. Dan O'Donnell alongside the president and CEO of Annex, Dave Spano. This week, a big week, a huge week for AI. So big, in fact, Dave, that you've taken to calling it AI's Woodstock.
Yeah, there's a lot of information that's going to come out this week for AI stocks. NVIDIA may be rolling out and unveiling a new chip, and these things are really expensive, Dan. That could have some market-moving news, and of course, we all wish we had a time ship that could bring us back to last year and buy NVIDIA up 4x in the last 12 months. But of course, it's gone from an AI idea, a Woodstock for AI, to a Wall Street thing. They're certainly watching these stocks and paying attention to where these stocks are going. So that's not the only thing that's going to move the market this week. The Fed meeting is, of course, this Wednesday. We do not expect a cut. And in fact, Dan, we may even have to see if we get a cut in June. As a flip of the coin at this point, just a 50-50 proposition that we'll get a cut in June. And lastly, Congress is trying to pass a tax bill. And if they don't get it done, these employee retention tax credits that have been talked about for so long stay in the bill. And so we're watching this very closely. And of course, all of this means that you have to get an unbiased portfolio assessment. It's a worthwhile checkup, Dan, as you well know, because the landscape is certainly shifting and you have to know what you own, why you own it, and how much you're paying for it.
Yeah, and the best place to do that is, as always, AnnexWealth.com. You go there, it's very easy. You get that review of your portfolio, as I did in sitting down with one of Annex's great professionals to sort of get a better understanding of where I am financially. It's called a wealth metric. It is available only at AnnexWealth.com. For Dave Spano, he is the president and CEO of Annex. I'm Dan O'Donnell. You've been listening to This Week with Annex Wealth Management.
This is Mike and Jim from Brillo Home Improvements. There's always something to be said about integrity, isn't there, Jim?
I'd say it's the way we were raised. When you have integrity, you care about the work you do.
And you want to make sure the customer feels it, too. It makes the whole process a lot easier. They begin to trust you. And that doesn't take long when they see you really do care.
And that's what we look for when we bring on new craftsmen. They gotta live up to the Brillo name.
Because being skilled is one thing, but when you join that with a mindset that really is looking to please the customer, then you have something you can build on. And I'll tell you what, when you do that, word seems to get around real quick.
I guess that's why we keep growing. Verneri award-winning home remodeling.
And about as down-to-earth of an approach as you're going to find. Check out BrilloHomeImprovements.com and find out why we're so proud of our work.
Or better yet, give us a call.
Because we're convinced that for your new project, our crews are the kind of folks that you're going to want to be working with.
In celebration of Women's History Month, join Annex Wealth Management and former member of the Wisconsin State Senate, Leah Vukmir, to explore Shattering the Myth of the Glass Ceiling. This conversation about real challenges facing women in the workforce is Tuesday, March 26th at our headquarters in Brookfield from 5 to 7 p.m. Bring a friend. Join us as Leah leads a collaborative dialogue centered around real obstacles women face as we bring our ideas to the corporate table. Sign up at AnnexWealth.com under the Events tab.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-522-5700. 800-522-5700.
Opinion, emotion, passion. This is News Talk 1130 WISN.
Conservative thought, not just talk. It is the Dan O'Donnell Show, where we are running the state's largest early vote drive. Try to catch up, libs. We have got people all across the state listening to me, watching me via the Dan O'Cam. And yes, to answer a recent comment from, who is this? Justin, who says, continuing with the lumberjack theme, I see. Yes, I didn't realize that I was wearing a red and black lumberjack flannel yesterday, and today I'm wearing a light brown and white flannel. What can I say? Flannel is comfortable. It's cold out. I didn't feel like wearing a dress shirt, which half of the time I will. Sue me, I like flannel. Is Belling going to make fun of me because I'm a millennial and I'm wearing a flannel shirt? And if I grow a beard and start drinking craft beer, then Belling will make fun of me for being a liberal. I got to return fire here. What do boomers wear? Okay, I want to be clear to all the baby boomers in my audience. This is my producer, Dave, without even missing a beat. I said, what do boomers wear? He goes, hearing aids. Time now to name the unhinged liberal of the day.
Make me crazy.
Trump is Hitler.
We are in pre-Nazi Germany. Make me crazy.
All white people are racist.
Does that make me crazy?
Trump is dangerous because he's evil. America is over.
Today's unhinged liberal of the day is soon-to-be retired California Congresswoman Katie Porter, who ran and finished a distant second to Adam Schiff in the California Senate primary, technically third because there is a Republican running as well. You might have heard of him, baseball great. Katie Porter, however, basically said at some point she is hoping Trump is going to either be defeated, end up in jail, or die of a heart attack.
Soon, Trump will lose or go to prison or, I don't know, have a heart attack. I'm not sure.
We call it the hamburger
I don't know what his
from
demise is
Hamburger
going
from
to
Heaven.
be, but he'll have his demise. And the question will still be there. Who are we as Democrats?
Katie already had her demise in the California Senate primary. She is your unhinged liberal of the day, but she actually raises an interesting question. Who will the Democrats be if they can't rally around hating Trump? We talk all the time about how the Republican Party is, at odds with each other. There's never been a Republican leader that is remembered fondly. Maybe Reagan? Calvin Coolidge? Nobody remembers Coolidge. He was a great president. The Democratic Party, especially around the issue of Israel, is so deeply divided that Porter, to a large extent, is right. The only thing that really does unite it, who are they as Democrats, capital D, if they're not hating Trump? If Trump isn't the great Satan that they all have to wage jihad against, that they all have to resist, who are they? What's their unifying principle? Yeah, abortion. What did Rush used to say? Their sacrament, liberalism is a religion, and their sacrament, their high holy sacrament is abortion. Yeah, maybe abortion rights. I don't think there's such thing as a pro-life Democrat anymore. But it's remarkable the extent to which hating Trump, opposing Trump, this just visceral, this Trump derangement syndrome is the unifying characteristic of their party. And in case you think this is unique to Trump, nearly a generation ago, it was Bush derangement syndrome. Remember, Bush is a war criminal. Bush Hitler was the nickname du jour. So, Scott Walker here locally, right? Yeah. Dave says he's the complete opposite. Both Bush and Scott Walker, complete opposite human beings from Donald Trump in terms of personality, countenance. That's countenance, not continence. I'm not saying they have difficulty holding it in. Walker was Hitler, too. It's remarkable how many Republicans are Hitler just in the last 20 years. Quick update, if I may, on the results of the state's largest early vote drive here on the Dan O'Donnell Show. Mike and Pam voted in Waukesha. Mike and Paulette will be early voting today. We will never vote for a Democrat for anything. Dan in the Village of Belgium voted today. Robert W. from Sherman Park voted red yesterday. Thanks, Dan. Hi, Dan. Early voted on 319 in Wauwatosa, in and out in 10 minutes. Dan, I voted today, voted yesterday early, and also Maureen voted early. All of those just in the last 5 minutes, just in the last commercial break. What you do, vote early. Tell others to vote early. Your kids, your parents, your friends, your high school buddies' text group, whatever it is. Get them to vote early. Text me when you do. Let me know how many people, if you already voted, you texted me on the AdventNews.com talk and text line. Text me again when you can confirm that your friends have early voted when, or get them to text me directly. When you tell them, hey, get out there and early vote for the conservatives in your community, you've got a lot more influence than you think. It's time to use it. It is the state's largest early vote drive. It starts with me, but it continues with you. Dan O'Donnell Show coming back in just a second. We will get some exclusive news about the Boss recall. It's classical conservatism, contemporary style.
News that's factual, fair, and balanced. This is continuing coverage on News Talk 1130 WISN, Milwaukee.
Good morning, I'm Ted Allen. Milwaukee's elections boss said the former supervisor charged with mailing fake ballots admitted to what she did. Milwaukee Elections Commission Executive Director Claire Woodall told a jury yesterday that former supervisor Kim Zapata told her that she'd mailed 3 ballots to Republican State Representative Janelle Branchen in 2020 2022 to show the real weaknesses in the state's electoral system. Woodall said Zapata was trying to do something good. Prosecutors are charging Zapata with felony official misconduct. A years-old arrest in Outagamie County may shed some light on the disappearance of a 3-year-old boy in Two Rivers. WISN TV reports that Elijah Vu's mother claimed back in 2016 that Jesse Vang was using her as a prostitute. Police arrested Vang and Elijah's father, Jimmy Vu, back in November of 2015 for human trafficking at an Appleton motel. The charges were later dropped because Vu went to prison on a series of other charges, and Vang was indicted in Minneapolis. A federal appeals court ordered last night that a controversial Texas immigration law be paused. That was just hours after the Supreme Court said it could go into effect. The New Orleans-based 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals blocked the state law, which would allow police to arrest migrants who illegally cross the border from Mexico, and would also empower Texas judges to order people to be deported to Mexico. Checking the WISN Sports Scoreboard, the Bucks are back in action tonight in Boston against the Celtics. From the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin News Center, I'm Ted Ahlin on Wisconsin's most listened to radio station, News Talk 1130 WISN.
Hey, Dan O'Donnell here for the Lynch family of dealerships. I've been a big proponent of Lynch for a while now. Here's why. They're literally a family dealership and have been since 1957. That's increasingly rare in the dealership world today, but the Lynch family employs 500 plus people who are all dedicated to taking care of you. They've got a wide selection of new and used vehicles, extended service department hours for early drop-offs and late pickups, and most importantly, they're proud supporters of our local communities and schools. They also stand behind what they sell with Lynch-certified used vehicles, including a 168-point inspection to determine eligibility, an unparalleled 90-day or 3,000-mile certified guarantee, and a 10-day 500-mile exchange policy. And when you pair this with the Lynch Protected program, they cover your paint, your windshield, and your tires. It's easy to see why you should consider Lynch. Check them out today at shoplynch.com.
Here's the latest forecast from the Fox 6 weather experts.
Partly cloudy to kick off our day, but mostly sunny by this afternoon. Should see a chilly high near 36. A few more clouds and around 20 overnight tonight. Then 34 tomorrow with increasingly cloudy skies and snow by the end of the day. I'm Fox 6 Chief Meteorologist Rob Haswell.
This report is sponsored by Car Gurus.
Don't let the stress of buying a new car outweigh the excitement. With Car Gurus, you can buy or sell a car exactly how you want and know you're getting a great deal. Take charge of your buying or selling experience today and get it with Car Gurus. That's CarGurus.com.
The Symmetry Bedroom Collection from Penny Mustard is kind of like a Swiss Army knife.
Well, it does have everything. A bookcase headboard with built-in lighting.
A gorgeous two-tone stain option.
Under bed storage.
And secret compartments, too.
Yeah, the only thing missing is a corkscrew.
Darn, I knew I forgot something.
The Symmetry Bedroom with queen bookcase headboard, under bed storage, 8-drawer dresser, landscape mirror, and 3-drawer nightstand, starting at $65.50 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Tom Nichols with Meisner, Tierney, Fisher & Nichols.
When running a closely held business, you need attorneys that will give you an honest, intelligent, and experienced evaluation of your legal situation, who have the willingness and ability to recognize and advise when spending legal fees will help you solve a problem, or just make it cost more. At Meisner, Tierney, Fisher & Nichols, we know we need to do this in order to retain clients for the life of their business. It's this difference between practicing a profession and selling a commodity that we feel defines our firm and sets us apart. High integrity and earned respect have been hallmarks of our firm for quite some time. We've been representing businesses here in Wisconsin for over 170 years. We'll make sure your business efficiently avoids legal problems and help make the law work for you.
Good clients deserve good lawyers. Meisner, Tierney, Fisher & Nichols. MTFN.com.
Dan O'Donnell here for CertaPro Painters, who provide excellent workmanship, quality, and a worry-free process for both residential and commercial spaces, all at the right price. You can trust them to get the job done right and safely, as I did when they worked on my home. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in the state. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, pro.com. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-522-5700. 800-522-5700.
Blue Mountain Express.
This is Rick Vanderboom with Blue Mountain Express Moving and Storage, and we'll improve your move.
BlueMountainExpress.com. We will improve your move.
Blue Mountain Express Moving and Storage, statewide.
A place where freedom of speech and freedom of thought live on. Stay informed all day, every day on News Talk 1130 WISN.
Be sure to listen to the NX Wealth Management Investment Show Saturday mornings at 11 and Sunday afternoons at 1 on News Talk 1130 WISN. NX provides its expertise to arm listeners with the knowledge and tools to invest wisely. NX Wealth Management. Know the difference.
Got it. Blocked in front off his own man. The rebound, they score! The Milwaukee Admirals wrap up a 4-game Western road trip when they take on the Colorado Eagles Wednesday. All along to the net. Schaefer backhander. Step attempting, scored! Pre-game coverage at 7:30. Face off at 8 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Is the website to check if your name was used to sign the Robin Boss recall. This has just gone live. It's a searchable database. DidYouRecall.com. Welcome back to the Dan O'Donnell Show. We continue to run the state's largest early vote drive, and I just opened up my email inbox. I'm not even kidding you, folks. 75 emails, all of people saying that they early voted. We've got Alicia, who said, "Hi, Dan, just voted in the Falls." Let's go. Donald says he early voted. Mary and Rick, a couple of snowbirds, sent in their early voting mail-in ballots. Sonia writes, "My husband, 21-year-old son, who's a student at UW-Madison, and I early voted yesterday. We were taking him to O'Hare for his trip to Italy." Ooh, fun. "And I heard you that morning talking about it. We stopped by our village office on our way. Had I not, he would have missed voting. So thank you, Dan, that this is exactly what I'm talking about." Carrie wants to know, "I remember hearing there is something we should vote yes for on the ballot. Can you tell me what it is?" Vote yes on both constitutional amendment questions. That is the one thing, two things technically, that are on everybody's ballot. It's a constitution, it's a proposed constitutional amendment. 2, 1, banning the use of private funds in the administration of elections, aka Zuckerbucks. We saw the effect of that in Wisconsin in the 2020 election. You want it to be banned in 2024? Vote yes. Moreover, we saw one of the people who was hired using the Zuckerbucks grants, Michael Spitzer Rubenstein, essentially take over the election in the city of Green Bay and try to weasel his way into getting access to the voter database in the city of Milwaukee. Question 2 would ban that, would ban anyone like Spitzer Rubenstein, who isn't an election worker, who isn't legally authorized to run elections in Wisconsin, from running elections in Wisconsin. Okay, I'm trying to find. Here we go. Barb is in Hartford. She is already sick. She said, my radio will not be tuned to WISN for 2 weeks because I am already sick of being inundated with early voting. I am talking about not being tuned in to any of you, mainly because just after I sent you an email, you mentioned it again. Jay didn't mention it, but I am already sick of his trip promotions. She is not happy. She is not a happy camper. Should I mention that we're going to be running a trip promotion for our trip on the private cruise? We're having a sale. Barb, once you early vote, sign up. This trip leaves in early June, so you don't have to wait forever. $1,000 off right now. We've got a couple of cabins to fill, and we are running a contest for people who already signed up to be upgraded to a luxury cabin. When I say luxury, you think about a cruise cabin. It's pretty cramped, right? This one is 700 square feet. You're basically in the Donald Trump suite on this private trip. We are going into Venice, flying into Venice in early June, and it's going to be 13 days. We're going to be cruising up the Italian coast. We're going to be going up in the Croatian coast, some of the most beautiful spots in all of Europe. And the best part is we're on a private ship. That means we can basically do what we want. You don't have to worry about the giant ship and all that. It's all like-minded listeners. It's a great way to travel. And right now, $1,000 off the price when you sign up at cruise-tour.com. Barb in Hartford, I know you want to sign up right now, cruise-tour.com. There are also people standing by. We're going to try to get a couple of last-minute bookings. It's going to be fun. Venice to Dubrovnik, June 5th through the 17th. Right now, $1,000 off. There are cruise and tour people standing by. 800-383-3131. That's 800-383-3131. All right, some exclusive new details about the Voss recall. 4,000 plus signatures of the 10,000 that the Voss recallers submitted are not from the district. They are going to be struck immediately. 60 of the organizers or petition circulators live outside of Wisconsin. Some of the names that signed: Cyber Houdini, which sounds like a professional wrestler or maybe digital magician. Also, Robin Voss signed the Robin Voss recall. Fewer than 6,000 signatures. The group calling itself, and I want to make sure I get this group correct, it is Wisconsinites for Democracy. Is that right? Whoever it is. Yeah, Wisconsinites for Liberty, Wisconsinites for Liberty. Their website, didyourecall.com. There is a searchable database of the Voss recall, just as there was a searchable database of the statewide Scott Walker recall 12 years ago. You can check to see if your name appeared, and it is a very real issue that the Voss recall organizers were forging signatures. I mean, this is a criminal investigation is now underway in Racine County. But basically, when the challenged signatures go before the Wisconsin Elections Commission, the Wisconsin Elections Commission already, after a cursory review of the signatures that were submitted said, well, there's only about 5,900 in the old 63rd Assembly District, which is by law the district boundaries that would need to be used for Vos to be recalled. In other words, even if every single one of those 5,900 signatures were valid, they don't have enough to trigger a recall election. They just don't. Where this becomes very interesting, and why I'm still talking about this, even though it's pretty clear there's not going to be a recall election, Vos is not going to be removed from office, is that this appears to have been a criminal conspiracy to get forged signatures in an effort to get Vos recalled. And this essentially amounts to identity theft. I mean, there are multiple crimes that some of these recall petition circulators can face. 60 out-of-state paid activists gathered 84% of the signatures. Among them are at least 2 with criminal records. Many have ties to a liberal group called People Power. It's based out of Jacksonville, Florida, hence why you see so many of these recall circulators from Jacksonville. That group says it, quote, pays progressive community organizers. So the group of arch conservatives that was trying to recall Vos because he wasn't as conservative as they are used a liberal group from Florida in order to circulate signatures to try to get Vos, who, remember, is not as liberal as they are, not as conservative as they are, removed from office. I don't even know what to say at this point. The campaign, People Power for Florida, is run by a state representative by the name of Anna V. Escamani, who is very convenient. I am on their website right now. She has her pronouns right there. She, her. Very conservative gal, this Anna V. Escamani. She, her. She says her proudest possession is her 2018 I Voted sticker. She self-describes her sleep schedule as non-existent, and she never gets tired of learning her cats and Star Wars. Now, the organizing director of this is Juan Ardila. His pronouns are he and himmy. Not him, he, himmy. Allison Minnerly is the communications director. She, her. She cares very deeply about ensuring every Floridian can access their right to vote and travels the state to help communities find their power. After working in the Florida legislature and for several progressive campaigns across the state, she's found her home at People Power. Rachel Gerstenberger is the statewide organizing coordinator, and she is super passionate about reproductive justice. I am not seeing pronouns on her, so she might not be with the group very long. It is actually kind of shocking how many people are employed by this group. Seriously. In addition to these women, Alexis Hobbs, Roxanne Perrette, they've got organizers basically in every single major city in the entire state. Co-founder Raymer McGuire, he, him, he's been working on Florida ballot initiatives. He's led several different issue campaigns. He has, quote, been there and done that. I'm actually shocked at how well-funded this organization seems to be. They will also be under a criminal investigation for providing the circulators for the Vos recall. Remember, Voss is not nearly as conservative. He is the rhino, not the people who are trying to recall him by partnering with what appears to be one of the most liberal groups in Florida. I think Representative Anna V. Escamani is going to want to be on the lookout for any phone calls from the 262 area code, and she should definitely be answering those because she's going to have to answer some serious questions as to why she was sending all manner of criminals into Wisconsin to forge signatures to recall the Republican State Assembly head. Do I have this right? Can somebody please correct me if I'm wrong? Voss is a rhino, right? I'm a rhino for pointing out all of the crimes that the Voss recall people appear to have committed, right? They're the true Republicans and true conservatives because they hired a progressive group from Florida to forge signatures. I just want to make sure I'm accurate in this. Am I? Is this? I don't want to be accused of reporting false information. The website, didyourecall.com. If you find your name on it, please do contact the Racine County District Attorney's Office. It is a criminal matter. Your ID was stolen. That is the dictionary definition of identity theft. Right now, the DA's office partnering with local law enforcement agencies. There is a criminal investigation that's ongoing. We are going to play Guess What's Racist, America's favorite game show. When we come back, we need a contestant. We'll take caller number 15 at 414-799-1130 or 1-800-838-9476. Caller 15 plays Guess What's Racist next.
This is the Dan O'Donnell Show.
I'm Brett Ochtenhagen, owner of Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services. Most people know us as a trusted landscape contractor, but did you know that we've been crafting decorative concrete and masonry features for almost 30 years? All concrete is not the same. Do you know what to ask for when planning a landscape project that includes concrete? For example, there are many types of concrete mixes available, and if you don't request a premium mix, you'll likely get a bargain mix, and a driveway or patio made with a bargain mix is not a bargain at all. We use only premium concrete mixes from trusted producers, and our decorative concrete and masonry features are crafted by our own artisans, not subcontractors. There's so much to consider when preparing for your landscaping project. Brett Ochtenhagen Seasonal Services has been serving southeastern Wisconsin since 1994. We are an established, trusted landscape contractor. Please call 262-392-3444 or look for us online at seasonalservices.com.
Today's Dan O'Donnell program is brought to you by Great Midwest Bank. Whether you're ready to buy, build, or renovate, Great Midwest Bank takes the stress out of paying for it. Get started today at greatmidwestbank.com.
Hi, this is Karen. As one of the very proud partners of a family-owned business, I'm excited for this new year. Recognized by Carrier for a third year in a row for excellence in receiving the President's Award is a top honor. Still providing outstanding service from routine maintenance or emergency service to estimates for replacement on your home or small business. We do it all while keeping you the customer number one. Turn to the experts, Carrier and D&M.
D&M at your service.
Call 281-5350 or visit us at dmheating.com.
Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, where you'll get the industry's hands-down best lifetime workmanship warranty on your new roof. And now free annual inspections.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Semper Fi.
If we've learned anything from the headlines, it's that unexpected things happen too often. Those in charge say everything's fine. Stop noticing. But you know better, and your gut knows that time is short to prepare for what's around the corner next. My Patriot Supply has helped over 2 million families become more self-reliant and is the company Americans trust to prepare. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com and secure their best-selling 3-month emergency food kits. Each contains tasty breakfasts, lunches, and dinners, averaging over 2,000 calories per day. Get at least one food kit for each family member. For a limited time, save $200 plus get free shipping on all their Ready Hour 3-month emergency food kits. You're not ready if it's not Ready Hour foods. At My Patriot Supply, you can also get solar-powered generators, water filtration units, emergency medical supplies, and heirloom seeds. Shop MyPatriotSupply.com today. MyPatriotSupply.com.
Dan O'Donnell Show, running the state's largest early voting drive. Dan early voted in the 53545 with the leftists. Hey, Dan just voted in New Berlin. Steady amount of people coming in. Hey, Dan just early voted 21 times to even things out. Probably still not enough. LOL. I just voted. I appreciate what you're doing with early voting, but there is nothing less entertaining than reading names of those who early voted. Loyal listener, but you're killing me, Smalls. Hey, sorry, I don't care. This is more important than being entertaining, although we still, I hope, are, because we like to inform as well as entertain. That's why it is time now to play America's favorite game show.
Guess What's Racist?
That's right. It is the game where you, our listeners, have to decide what non-racist thing, what totally benign, random thing the left has suddenly declared horribly racist. Our contestant today comes to us from Muskego. Please welcome Craig to Guess What's Racist. Craig, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Dan. Thanks for taking me. Hey, I did vote early yesterday, and because of you, my wife will be working in the polls on April 2nd.
Well, that is fantastic, Craig. I love hearing that. Thank you so much for participating in our state's largest early vote drive. Really do appreciate it. Are you aware of how to play Guess What's Racist, sir?
I am indeed.
Excellent. For those who aren't, and we have got a ton of new viewers over the past couple of weeks on the Dano Cam, especially via X as well as Facebook and YouTube. Here's how it works. I'm going to give Craig a list of 3 things. They're all going to be related, but you're not going to look at any of them and say, oh yeah, that's totally racist. Like, it's not going to be David Duke. Yeah, that one's racist. No, it's going to be something random like a shrub. But that random thing, one of the 3, has been deemed to be racist, either by an elected Democrat or a college professor, a study of some sort, a liberal activist. It is Craig's job to determine which one is racist. Here we go. Question number 1 for you, Craig. Guess what's racist? Love, marriage, or the horse and carriage?
I'd have to say marriage.
That is correct. A white George Mason University professor said this week that marriage fundamentalism promotes the idea of white supremacy. Professor Bethany Latique wrote in the Journal of Marriage and Family about her theory that marriage fundamentalism, like structural racism, is a key structuring element of white heteropatriarchal supremacy. Marriage fundamentalism, she writes, can be understood as an ideological and cultural phenomenon where adherents espouse the superiority of the two-parent married family. But it is also a hidden or unacknowledged structural mechanism of white heteropatriarchal family supremacy that is essential to the reproduction and maintenance of family inequality in the United States. If you could make sense of that, Craig, you're smarter than me because it sounded like a whole lot of gibberish. But the bottom line is marriage and the promotion of marriage is racist. Not bad, 1 for 1. Question 2. Guess what's racist? The U.S., the U.K., or the UAE?
Gotta be the U.S.
Yeah, sometimes the simplest answer is the correct one. The city of College Park, Maryland, hired a racial equity leader to spearhead its mission to eliminate systemic racism in its departments. But she has made statements defending violence and promoting the idea of an armed revolution against the United States. I don't know, sounds kind of insurrection-y to me, but what do I know? Kayla Elise Carter supports black liberation through revolutionary means and said she is working with some activists to plan, quote, how we will eat and live and grow after we burn it all down. In case there was any doubt, on her X account, the header picture says the following: I can't wait for society to collapse so my ideology can rise from the ashes. Carter was hired to be a racial equity officer under former Mayor Patrick L. Wojahn, who resigned from office after being arrested for child pornography. So his legacy, I guess, lives on in Ms. Carter. You are 2 for 2, sir. Going for a perfect game. Final question. Guess what's racist? The SAT, the LSAT or LSAT, or the bar exam?
SAT.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's the bar exam. The Washington State Supreme Court says the bar exam is no longer required to become a lawyer in the state. The bar exam is the test that all attorneys have to practice. It's basically a basic competence exam regarding the laws of the state. Wisconsin, interestingly, is the only state where you don't have to pass a bar exam if you graduate from one of the state's 2 law schools, Marquette or UW-Madison. For example, I never practiced law. I also never took a bar exam because I graduated from Madison, right? It's used to keep people in the state. But the reason that Washington State is essentially doing away with the bar exam is because it's racist. The court says it disproportionately and unnecessarily blocks historically marginalized groups from entering the practice of law. At the height of the extremist Black Lives Matter movement, the court appointed the Bar Licensure Task Force to provide alternative ways to earn a law license. As they were trained to do, they found the Washington State Bar exam disproportionately and unnecessarily blocks those marginalized groups. They claimed the exam is, at best, minimally effective at ensuring a client is competently represented in court. So the bar exam is now racist. Very good, Craig. You went 2 for 3, which I'll tell you is a lot better than most contestants on Guess What's Racist do. As one of our commenters watching on the Dano Cam noted, it's impossible to win this game. No, actually, just by playing this game, dear listeners, you get a better understanding of how you fit in this complicated tapestry we call America's systemic racism. Craig, you did a great job. Thank you so much for playing today. And thank you so much for voting early. And tell your wife thank you for working at the polls.
I will do that. Thanks for your show. We love listening to you, Dan. Keep up the great work.
Thank you, sir. You too. I really do appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been listening to America's favorite game show, Guess What's Racist? Dan O'Donnell here for Mander Collision and Glass, the best decision after a collision. And you hear me talking all the time about how great Mander is, but here's customer Amber, who writes, the quality of customer service at Mander in Muskego has far exceeded my expectations. After being involved in an accident, not my fault, and having experienced some significant difficulties communicating with the individual that hit me, Mander went above and beyond to ensure my needs were being met. I have never felt so confident and secure as a customer. The staff truly has their customers' best interests at heart and shows it through their actions. Thank you, Mander, for alleviating my stress through an undesirable chain of events. Thanks so much for sharing your experience, Amber, because that's yet another reason why I recommend Mander so highly. Now with 6 locations to serve you, Mander truly is your best decision after a collision.
For more information about contests on News Talk 1130 WISN, go to newstalk1130.com/rules.
It was a doozy, all right. Apparently, things got a little out of hand, as evidenced by the job description.
Repair heel marks on conference table.
You get the picture. Office party, a few too many drinks, and a gal who felt compelled to use the top of the conference table as a dance floor. And as you expected, we showed up on site and made that tabletop as good as new. By golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. Serving everywhere. Quality counts. MULLALY finishing.com. Well, if you haven't heard me bragging by now, we're darn good. Actually, my dad has no qualms about saying we're the best. And if you're skeptical, I understand. But all you have to do is go to MullallyFinishing.com to learn why we're great at what we do and see lots of before and after photos that show off our impressive work. So if you're looking for a name you can trust, by golly, it's Mullally. Mullally Furniture Finishing and Repair. Serving everywhere. Quality counts. MULLALY finishing.com.
You've heard about the thousands of patients finally getting relief from chronic joint pain thanks to QC Kinetics non-invasive treatments. And here's one who was determined to avoid surgery. Meet Vicky.
The orthopedic surgeon said, well, you're going to need knee replacement sooner rather than later. I kept hearing commercials about QC Kinetics and thought, well, I'm going to check them out first.
QC Kinetics has treated over 20,000 patients like Vicky around the country. People who were told they needed surgery but chose a more natural, less invasive approach that uses regenerative treatments to help heal and restore painful joints with no downtime.
If QC Kinetics had not been what I expected, I would have gone through with the surgery, but I got so much relief, am now pretty much pain-free that I don't have to have the surgery.
Before going under the knife, you need to check out QC Kinetics. The consultation is free. Call today.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Do you know you need a new roof? Of course you do. For award-winning service and a free consultation, visit Klaus Roofing Systems by BuckBuckley.com. And remember, put a Klaus on your house.
Traffic jams, tailgating, pile-ups. Ugh, the joys of driving. How could it get worse? The federal government wants to have a say in what you drive. That's right. The Biden administration's EPA is pushing mandates that would ban 2 out of every 3 vehicles on the road today. Don't let Washington become your backseat driver. Protect the freedom of driving your way. Visit EnergyCitizens.org. Paid for by the American Petroleum Institute.
You know, our bathroom should be a place where we feel confident and secure, especially when it comes to getting in and out of the tub or shower. Bathfitter has solutions that are not only safety conscious, but are also ADA compliant. Whether you're looking for a walk-in shower or tub-to-shower conversion, even built-in shower seats or grab bars, Bathfitter delivers, and they can make it happen in just one day. If you're ready to upgrade to something safe and modern, call Bathfitter 262-395-4925 and get up to $1,200 off or 5 years of interest-free financing.
We had a customer who purchased Marvin patio doors from us. Unfortunately, a burglar attempted to break in through them, but luckily the Marvin patio door security features prevented it. It turns out that Marvin's multi-point locks held up so well that even the burglar's attempts to pry open the patio door with a heavy-duty screwdriver were unsuccessful. In fact, it actually broke off and fell into our customer's kitchen. Now here's where we come in. Because even though our customer's doors were damaged in the break-in attempt, we had the replacement parts readily available at our store to help the customer get the doors back to new condition. Having those parts readily available not only saved our customer from having to buy new patio doors, but it also gave him a quick solution to his problem. This is David Wilhelm. Marvin Windows and Doors are the best you'll find because they're built around you. And you'll find your best Marvin selection along with all the replacement parts you'll need at your clear choice for more, Lisbon Storm Screen and Door.
Your clear choice for more, Lisbon Storm Screen and Door.
Find us at lisbonstorm.com.
Unless the grain of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains just a grain of wheat. But if it dies, it produces much fruit. Hello, this is Archbishop Listecki. Jesus is the very bread of life. Like the grain of wheat, he suffers and dies so that we might live with him forever. The Eucharist is real food, multiplying his love in all of us. It's Lent. Join us at Mass.
Get your rock solid guaranteed pre-approval to buy at accunet.com.
Top of the morning to you.
Conservative thought, not just talk.
Top of the morning to you.
This is the Dan O'Donnell Show.
Top of the morning to you.
Just got this text, Dan, last night, my young, impressionable mind finally gave in to your peer pressure, and I went ahead and lost my early vote virginity. It was everything that I had heard it was, and I insist all DOD show listeners join us cool kids and lose your early vote virginity by voting early for the very first time. I am encouraging you. Be safe. Use protection, i.e. a voter ID, but lose your early vote virginity right along with me. It is an orgy of voting that we are promoting. Okay, that's too far. Too far. Was orgy the line? Orgy was the line. Okay. I was wondering how far I could take that analogy without the FCC getting involved. So we just did our weekly game show, Guess What's Racist? And I really wish I had gotten this email before Guess What's Racist. This is in the Fond du Lac Reporter today. Listeners sent me this. Why the Fond du Lac School District's citywide spelling bee is ending after nearly 50 years. Any guesses as to why? Just take a wild guess. RACISM. Thyssen Middle School Principal Brad Nerat, who led the 2024 spelling bee, announced the bee's discontinuation to district principals and the Fond du Lac Reporter, saying, "This decision is not taken lightly, and we understand that spelling bees have been a traditional and valued component of our academic culture. In line with the district's mission to create an inclusive and supporting learning environment for all students, spelling bee organizers took several factors into consideration to reach this decision. Two of the factors were pressure of spelling bees on students, and as someone who competed in spelling bees as a kid, I can tell you it's a lot of studying, and it is insanely nerve-wracking. I can still remember how nervous I was standing up there. In fact, in like 6th grade or 7th grade, I'll never forget this. I was so nervous, I misspelled an easy word, exercise. Exercise. And as soon as I said it, I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? What did I do? I cried. I was inconsolable afterwards. Next year, I won like the school, the district, the regional. I went on to like the sectional spelling bee or something like that, and then lost. They give you a list of words that are likely to appear in these things. Otherwise, like this was before the era of the internet. So my mom and dad got me like there were these giant lists. And I don't even know where they got them. I'm sure one of them, Mom, Dad, if you can remember where you got the spelling bee lists from, I think the school provided them, but I don't remember. And I would literally be just sitting there, and my mom would be reading me, or my dad would be reading me words, and I would spell them. And it just, when you're up there, it is so nerve-wracking. I played sports my entire life. Nothing was more nerve-wracking than standing there as like a 12-year-old and having to spell. But the other big one, and I can tell you this is the concern that won the day, inclusivity. Spelling bees, the reporter reports, are dependent on rote memorization, which may inadvertently exclude students with different learning styles or linguistic backgrounds. This can include students with learning disabilities or other students with difficulties in hearing, speaking, memorization, or concentration, as well as students for whom English isn't their first language. So, why don't you teach the kids English? How about that? The entire point of a spelling bee, I wasn't necessarily smarter than any of the other kids. In fact, I never thought I was smart at all. I just happened to be really, really good at spelling. I always thought throughout my entire life, I wasn't particularly bright. I mean, I was smart enough to make the honor roll and stuff, but just what I was always better than the other kids at was writing. Was the shocker. I was really, really good at speech class in sophomore year. And I just always had that skill. So yeah, naturally, I was going to succeed at spelling bees. You put me in, do they still have the math Olympics or whatever it's called? Academic decathlon, the mathletes? Zero chance I could ever. I'm terrible at math. I was always really bad at science. Did I feel excluded? No, this is just, I had a skill. I was like 5'8" in high school. I didn't make the basketball team. Like, did I feel excluded? Did we discontinue basketball because short kids would feel excluded? This is sort of liberalism in education in a nutshell. Instead of trying to raise kids up, or the kids for whom English is a second language, or the kids who are disabled, or the kids who might be hard of hearing, that's fine. Your job as a teacher is to build them up by working with them to find their strengths, to find the thing that they're going to excel at. But instead, to me, it is just an admission of failure. Well, we can't do that, so we're going to take away this thing that some kids can excel at, but others can't. So the kids who can't excel don't feel bad. It's the same thing that sort of underpins this decision to get rid of honor rolls, right? Well, we won't have a valedictorian because that might make kids feel bad. What? That's asinine. That's ridiculous. We're not going to have honors classes because they disproportionately exclude minority students. How about, now hear me out. Hear me out. Just this is Dan just brainstorming here. How about we do a better job of educating kids so that more of them can get into the honors program? Seems logical to me, right? What do you think that would do if we just got... It's so weird how private schools and schools in very high-performing, generally conservative school districts don't do this sort of thing. They will actually, change standards so that, or they will dramatically invest in special ed so that they can get kids up to speed. Instead of just saying, well, all you smart kids, suck it up. Everybody's going to regress to the mean. This is a fundamentally socialist style of thinking, isn't it? I'm not saying that the Fond du Lac school district's a bunch of commies, but this is the same basic idea. Well, everybody has to be equal. We have to have the equality, not just of opportunity, which of course America fundamentally guarantees, but the equality of results. that the result is nobody is going to qualify for the spelling bee. Everybody has the opportunity to qualify for the spelling bee. Some kids spell cat C-T-A. Like, dyslexia is a big problem, okay? I know a bunch of kids that suffer from dyslexia. I know a bunch of adults who have struggled with dyslexia. The idea is work with them, work hard with them. Don't say, well, Johnny's never going to be a speller, so Jimmy, who's good at spelling, he shouldn't be able to do that too. Work with Johnny. If you don't have the resources, recommend some private outside tutoring or help for Johnny. I mean, it's just like waving the white flag and saying, well, we did all we could. Best thing we can do is just make sure that it doesn't look like some kids are succeeding and some kids are failing. Work to make sure no kids fail. It's a fundamental problem with, and I'm not even going to blame wokeness in education so much as I'm going to blame laziness and incompetence in education. Dan O'Donnell, classical conservatism, contemporary style. We'll be right back to it in just a second.
This is Michael Lynch from the Lynch Truck Center. We've been working hard sourcing work trucks from all over the country. We currently have over 300 commercial work trucks in stock and ready for your choice of upfit. Our sales team is 100% dedicated to commercial trucks, which means our truck professionals can get you the right truck right now. Our new inventory of Chevrolet, GMC, Isuzu, Hino, not to mention our used inventory, combined with nearly 30 commercial financial lenders, ensures the lowest rates possible for you and the fastest buying experience. Our service center has over 20 dedicated truck bays running 2 shifts, a contact-free sales process, and delivery drivers ready to deliver your truck right to your door. We know your time is important, so we make sure our process is quick and hassle-free. Find your new truck today at lynchtruckcenter.com. Or stop into the Lynch Truck Center at Highway 36 in Waterford. We won't disappoint you.
Jay Weber here. If you're someone who's experiencing shoulder, spine, hip, knee, or musculoskeletal pain and a total joint replacement might be in your future, think Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Find them at orthowisconsin.com. At Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, their physicians are committed to providing the highest quality of joint care and specialize in same-day total joint replacements at their own ambulatory surgery center in Pewaukee. You can find them at orthowisconsin.com. orthowisconsin.com. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference.
Hi, I'm Mike Madsen, owner of Color Wheel Painting. I know you think you have a lot of choices when it comes to hiring a painter, like your hungover nephew who is home from college, or those guys who did your neighbor's exterior. Maybe you call a big sort of professional franchise and see which of their 100 subcontractors gets randomly assigned to your project. But the truth is, when it comes to painting, there's only one logical great choice: Color Wheel Painting. Color Wheel has a small team. Despite the fact that, yes, we're on the radio, we have geek-level industry knowledge, specific processes, and outstanding products. Color Wheel has a system that from start to finish is personalized and guaranteed to make you proud of every dollar you invest in your home. We are the ones you need. Trust Color Wheel for interior painting, trim painting, wallpaper hanging, cabinet painting and refinishing, and even more. That's Color Wheel Painting. Remodelandpaint.com.
This is Mike and Jim from Brillo Home Improvements. So we do a lot of these ads, and sometimes you feel like you run out of things to say.
Yeah, I hear you. So what do you think people want to hear?
Obviously, we're always going to tell them the truth, because that's just the way we are. But when it comes to home remodeling, you just have to push quality. I mean, that's what we're known for.
Attention to detail, real craftsmanship, outstanding design. When you go to BrilloHomeImprovements.com, you're going to see beautiful work and high-level home transformations.
And we can do anything, but I'm particularly proud of our additions, because a lot of times, they're challenging jobs.
And we've always risen to the challenge.
And you know, we exceed expectations too.
Sounds like we've said exactly what we want our next new customer to hear.
Verneri award-winning home remodeling.
And about as down-to-earth of an approach as you're going to find.
Go to BrilloHomeImprovements.com.
Or better yet, give us a call. And we're going to do everything we can to show you that you definitely made the right choice.
Join News Talk 1130 this Saturday at 4 p.m. for The Word on Medicine, the show that brings you the latest medical innovations and discoveries by physicians and scientists at the Medical College of Wisconsin. That's Saturday afternoon at 4 on News Talk 1130, WISN.
Get ready for a major iHeartRadio Music Awards announcement. Be here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific.
You know, our friends at Henry Repeating Arms, they manufacture a line of very high quality rifles, shotguns, and revolvers that you can be very proud to own. Now, they're made in America with parts and materials also from America. Now, they use old world craftsmanship combined with cutting edge technology to deliver reliable and accuracy that you can trust in any situation. Now, they're easy to use and maintain. It makes them an excellent choice for both a novice and experienced shooter. Henry has over 200 models, so you can find the firearm that's right for you. There's also new releases all throughout the year, and every purchase is backed by their lifetime warranty and the company's owner. Anthony Imperato also gives his personal guarantee for 100% satisfaction. Now, make sure you go to their website, henryusa.com, order their free catalog. They'll send you free decals and a list of dealers where you are. That's henryusa.com. Free catalog, free decals, and a list of dealers where you are. You're going to love this company and these firearms like I do.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
So I feel an apology is in order. I appear to have crashed the didyourecall.com site by... What do you mean, where am I logging in from? No, it worked before, Dave. It's crashed. It's so many people trying to get on at the same time. I knew this was going to happen, and I feel like I should have given a heads up to the people who run the site. It's just a WordPress blog, and it can't handle the traffic. No, I was able to log in. I was able to get on before I mentioned it on the air. Immediately after, I cannot. I assume the didyourecall.com website will be up very shortly. It's the searchable database of names in the Robin Voss recall, which also includes Robin Voss. It is so weird that the man would sign a petition to recall himself. Or is this part of the grand conspiracy by Voss to discredit the recall, which didn't even get enough signatures anyway? I've been saying this for almost a year now, and it also had to do with the last attempt to get Robin Voss, the Adam Steen primary, which also, not coincidentally enough, featured a lot of the same people and committed crimes. We've got crimes here. This is fraud. This is forgery. This is identity theft. Faking names, signing for somebody else, that's identity theft. And it's election fraud. This is the definition of a violation of Wisconsin Statute 12.13 titled election fraud. The same people that are so upset about election fraud have no problem in 2 consecutive efforts to defeat one dude. They committed election fraud. I don't understand how you can be that consumed with rage and with hate. But alas, here we are. Now, yeah, Dave says the left and Trump. The Voss recall people, they're partnering with the same left-wing rage monkeys that are constantly going after Trump. People Power for Florida is the group that they partnered with to provide all of the, or at least most of the 60 different recall petition circulators. They're giving them, $2 to $4 per signature. And then they're wondering why these people, a couple of whom have extensive criminal records, one dude from Florida has been arrested about 17 times. And then they wonder why they come up with fraudulent forged signatures. NCAA tournament kicks off tomorrow. No, it didn't kick off last night. Those are play-in games. They are not the first round. Colorado State whooped up on Tony Bennett's Virginia squad. I was actually shocked. Watched a little bit of that game. 25-point win by Colorado State. An excellent game. I'm telling you, these 16 versus 16 matchups, there are two 10 versus 10, 10 seed versus 10 seed matchups. The two 16 versus 16 matchups are invariably the better games. Wagner survived just an onslaught by Howard, and they came away with a 71-68. The last seconds of that game, incredibly exciting. Tonight, it is Grambling versus Montana State in the 16 matchup, and then in the 10v10 matchup, Colorado and Boise State. Of course, both Marquette and Wisconsin don't play tomorrow, but rather on Friday. Marquette tips off against Western Kentucky at 1 p.m., and at 8:40 p.m., it's Wisconsin taking on James Madison. I have not yet filled out my bracket. I'm in, I think, 2 different ones. I'm not even sure. I was in a random office pool with one of my buddies, and I don't know if I missed an email or something. I don't know if he's doing it again this year, but I usually do 1 or 2. In any event, if you've got any NCAA tips, please send them my way. Outside of the fact that I'm pretty confident UConn is going to win the whole darn thing, and anytime I'm confident that a team is going to win the whole darn thing, they lose in the Sweet 16. So it seems like Houston and UConn are the best teams. I'm getting a sense Tennessee is a lot of experts' picks, that they're a really strong team this year. But as far as bracket busters, as far as upsets, I have absolutely... The only thing I know is that you've got to pick a 12 over a 5 every single year. And it's getting increasingly common that a 13 beats a 4, and even that a 14 beats a 3 because of parity in college basketball. Check me out 12:15 on Newsmax TV. After that, Mark Belling's show. Thanks for listening to me this morning.